Minutes just on the drive home. Just got finished with a junk removal for my business. So I just wanted to deep dive on another topic, which is really just about like discipline when in regards to achieving your goals. So it basically has to do with doing things you don't want to do and the temptation of doing things in order to achieve fast results but sacrificing your own principles. So here's what I mean. So you'll notice everything that seems like a get-rich-quick scheme or any shortcut is bad. Any shortcut to achieving your goals is bad in general. Let me give you a couple of examples and a couple of different topics of life. So let's say like getting into good shape. What's the shortcut to getting into good shape? You take steroids, right? Shortens your lifespan, kills your testosterone in the long term, and it's just terrible for your long-term health, even your short-term health. And making money. So making money, it all depends on your mindset, right? So the person you are, you can't become a millionaire and not have a millionaire mindset, right? So you get a millionaire mindset and then you become a millionaire, right? You change who you are and that changes your results in life. So a lot of things you'll notice with people who win the lottery or sometimes like trust fund kids, basically people who get a large inheritance of some sort or they just stumble upon a large source of riches. Even in the movies, it drives them crazy, right? Even in fake reality Hollywood, they go crazy. And, in real life, that looks like them killing themselves or doing something drastic or losing it all and just being at zero. Some people even fall below zero. But how you can avoid all of these get-rich-quick schemes or, all these shortcuts in life is to just take the path that you're supposed to take. So if you want to get into good shape, what do you think you're supposed to do? You're supposed to move more, go to the gym, eat less, right? It's not rocket science. But people don't like doing what they don't like doing. So people don't do what they don't like doing. And honestly, achieving your goals takes a lot more than people think it does. Like everybody thinks that their goals are impossible to achieve, and that's what stops people from even starting in the first place, right? But in reality, when you start chasing your goals, you keep finding that they're further and further than you thought they were, right? You take 2 steps ahead, and you thought it was 3 steps ahead. But you're like, oh, it's actually this far, and then you get that far, and then oh, it's actually so much further than I thought it was. So as you progress, you'll start to see how much effort it actually takes to commit to something and be an actual master at something. But yeah, let me give you the shortcut, the only shortcut to achieve your goals. Step 1 is know what you want, right? This is more than what 99% of people, more than what anybody I personally know actually does, right? If you talk to anybody you know, you'll be lucky to find someone who knows exactly what they want, right? And the whole idea of just hoping that God's going to give you what you want in life without even discovering it is ridiculous. Like, God gives you the ability to discover what you want in life, and then He gives you the ability to chase it and to, be blessed. But you first have to discover what it is that God has sent you to do, right? You have to discover what your goals are, what means a lot to you, because you were made to achieve something. And most people, they never find that, so they just go through life achieving somebody else's goal. So yeah, step 1 is to find out what you really want in life. It could be as simple as, being dad. It could be as simple as, having a good job and a stable family. But yeah, find out what you want in life. And yeah, that's step 1. And step 2 is arrange your daily schedule in a way that would make it impossible for you not to achieve that, right? So if your goal is to have a successful business, then you should be starting a business, right? And scaling a business. Sorry, as a freaking police officer. Throw me off. But yeah, let's say you got a couple different goals. Let's just use the three examples of health, wealth, and relationships. So health, if your goal is to be healthy, you should arrange it in your plan to eat healthily or to eat less or to eat in according to what your specific goals are, right? Maybe start going to the gym if you want to be healthy or doing yoga, whatever your body specifically needs, and tailor it to what is important to you and what you want. And that's health. And then there's wealth. Find where you want to be. If you just want to have a consistent income that's enough to pay your bills, and that's completely fine. You don't have to be rich. Nobody's forcing you to be rich. Just find out what's important to you. Maybe you want to be financially free and have passive income, as they call it. Or maybe you just want to work really hard until you're 30 and be able to retire at the age of 30. And that's my goal. But, that's not everybody's willing to make the sacrifices to do that, and that's okay. And then relationships. This is an interesting one because I talk to a lot of people who tell me they want a relationship in the future, but they're not actually doing anything to, you know, get better at relationships, right? They're not studying relationships. They're not even like dating. And this is the problem with people achieving their goals. The only reason that they don't is because they don't try. And now you can have the AI do all the thinking for you. You could literally go on ChatGPT and ask it, like, hey, what do I need to achieve my goals, right? Give me a weekly schedule, 7 days a week, morning to night, that I can do to achieve my goals. Like, it's so easy for you that it's kind of ridiculous if you don't have a plan nowadays to achieve your goals. Yeah, that's just my take on it, but, you can't do any of that if you don't know what your goals are. You could probably even use AI to find out what your goals are, to be honest. You can ask AI, like, make me a plan to discover my true goals. Ask me a series of questions in an order that will make me find out what's important to me. Like, knowing how to use AI is pretty useful, but in my opinion, you shouldn't really use it for personal things. But yeah, I mean, consistent actions to achieve your goals, that's really the only other step there is to it. So know what you want and then have a plan according to do so. Plan it in your daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly goals and actions so that it would be impossible not to achieve your goals. And this kind of ties into the first slide that I did about having a calendar and living by the calendar. So it's like everybody writes down goals. It's like the whole New Year's resolutions thing. But nobody actually achieves their goals because they don't live by the calendar and they don't schedule their goals into existence, right? New Year's resolution thing, it's more of a wish list. It's not real goals, right? If you haven't heard about this, there's this acronym called SMART goals. And SMART is the acronym. It's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So all those 5 things basically make it so that you have to set a goal that is realistic and attainable, right? Because if you don't do that, then your goal is just a wish and it's on a wish list and you don't actually have a plan to achieve it, right? It's never going to happen if you don't have a plan, if it's not a goal. So yeah, I guess an action step, if you watch this video, would be to, look up SMART goals, set some SMART goals, comment down below, or drop in the chat, like, what kind of goals you're setting, if you need some help. I personally have a monthly goals, I have a daily checklist, I have a to-do list, and I have yearly goals as well. And yeah, I even schedule it into my relationship. So me and my girlfriend sit down once a week or once every 2 weeks on a Monday, and we go over our goals and if we're actually doing what we need to do in order to achieve them. Because you can't really be fulfilled in life if you're not chasing something. even if it's the simplest thing. If it's a hobby that you're trying to get better at, you have to be doing something in life because humans were made to create. Like, go back to the Bible. What were we made here for? We're put in the garden to tend to God's work, right? We're creators. We're made in the image of God, so we have to be creating. We have to be chasing something. If you're not going to feel fulfilled at all in this life. So yeah, that is what I got to say about like the disciplinary actions that you need to do or the mindset that you need to do, and even the next steps to achieving your goals and living a happy, successful life. And successful being what you think is successful, not what the internet thinks is successful or Instagram or whatever. Like, find out what's important to you because nobody should really give a shit. You shouldn't let your family dictate your goals or anything like that. So yeah, if there's one thing you learn from this, it's find out what's important to you. Because when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking, oh man, I really didn't achieve my mom's goals or my dad's goals that they tried to dictate my life for, right? No, you're going to think about all the things that you regretted not doing and all the risks that you should have taken. All right, so I just pulled up to the apartment, and I will see you guys in the next one. And comment down below any other topics you want, because I'm going to do this every day. Oh, that's cute. Some loser asked me to stop streaming.